IPv6 is the next generation of IP addressing. Currently we're running on IPv4. That's the address scheme that I just described to you. IPv6 is the next generation. IPv4 uses a 32-bit IP address and a 32-bit mask. IPv6 uses a 128-bit IP address and a 128-bit. It allows many more IP addresses, and this is the main purpose of IPv6. We were beginning to run out of IPv4 addresses, and so we had to extend the length of the IP address to increase the number of available addresses. So IPv6 is the upcoming generation of the Internet Protocol. It has many enhanced features because we have learned much more about how to do things. We also have identified many more needs that we can satisfy with IP addressing. Those include auto configuration, quality of service, and many other features that will be available when we finally do roll to IPv6. What we're seeing is IPv6 is being much more readily accepted internationally than here in the United States. Here in the United States, we acquired many IPv4 addresses and weren't under quite near the pressure that many international nations had relative to IP addressing. So we kind of consumed all the IPv4 address space and didn't leave much for the rest of the world. They now had to migrate into IPv6 much more early than we do here in the United States. Another thing that is delaying our moving to IPv6, especially here in the United States, is the introduction of Network Address Translation Protocol, or NAT. Again, we were running out of IPv4 addresses, so they produced a new protocol or service called NAT. And what NAT allowed us to do, rather than having every user acquire and consume a public IP address, we now can share one public IPv4 address amongst hundreds or even thousands of users. So one IP address for several thousand users. Prior to NAT, it was one IP address per user. And so NAT greatly extended the life of IPv4.